Hey guys, Geoffrey here. In this video, I wanted to go deep into letting you understand what it means to not chase and to start re-attracting your partner back into the relationship, back into the marriage. And this is going to be a crucial aspect to understand because, if I watch a lot of the videos and a lot of articles that tells you how to attract your partner, those are not actually the ways to attract your partner. And so I want to approach this in a very different angle here. And I'm sure that you'll find this really helpful as well, because once my clients understand this stuff as well, this is when their results really skyrocket as well. Now, in case you're new to this channel, my name is Geoffrey and I help men in long-term relationships or in marriages with the right skills and knowledge to be able to design a thriving relationship, even if you're the only one trying to save the relationship. So if you want more content on this topic, be sure to subscribe to this channel and also click that bell button as well to be notified when I post new videos every single week. And before I begin this video, I also want to let you know that the free masterclass on the 5 proven steps to rebuilding your relationship from the ground up is still open. So if you want to join me in that masterclass and really understand the same process that all my clients have used to get the massive results, then be sure to stick around to the very end of this video for the announcement on how you can join that. And if you want to join the Relationship Survival Program as well and submit your application, you can also do so at the end of this masterclass as well. So with that said, let's get started here with understanding what it means to chase and why chasing is really the embodiment of what neediness actually means and why neediness really wreaks havoc when you're trying to re-attract your partner. So neediness, simply, if you want to break it down to its very simplest definition, is doing something to get something in return, obviously. But that something in return that you're trying to seek, you're trying to get, is something that you need, meaning that your happiness, your sense of well-being, your world will crumble if you don't need it. So you have this very strong desire, strong need to get what you want. And usually when people are in this very strong sense of need like this, they focus heavily on the what, on appearing, on the manipulative tactics, on the tactics, in fact, the short-term things that they can do to try to re-attract their partner, etc. But they don't really take the time to actually learn to enjoy and to learn to believe, even to learn to understand fully, to feel comfortable in doing the things that they're doing. So a lot of people, for example, they go to YouTube videos, they learn some scripts here, they learn what to do, they learn what to say, and they say these things, they do these things, but when they say and do these things, it's bred out of the desire to manipulate, and not really because they are, but because they want to have. And so when they do these things and say these things, yes, they're saying the right words, but a massive part of them feels really uncomfortable. It feels like it's not them, and it feels ingenuine even to themselves. So just to go deeper into this as well, there's really 2 ways that people chase. And the first way that people chase, and this is the obvious way that I think a lot of people think about when they think about chasing, is what we call active chasing. And this is another word for this that we use in our program, is what we call overt neediness. So here's when someone is interested in only learning about the scripts and tactics, what to say, what to do, but they're not really interested in learning the very complex nuances, the internal shifts behind it as well. And here they're very short-term oriented, and they're really desperate in the short term for manufacturing contact, getting some feedback from their partner. Even if it's bad feedback, they would rather have their partner say something and have some contact than be in this limbo of no contact or having very limited contact. Once they get their attention, they're just saying and doing all the things that they're supposed to do, but they don't really understand why they're supposed to do that. They don't really believe in it. They don't really feel genuine, comfortable in it. Again, this is the classic definition of what it means to be chasing someone, and I think how most people define chasing someone. But what a lot of people don't realize too is that there's such thing called covert neediness, and this is what we can also call passive chasing. And this is when you pretend to stop caring or to walk away, because you learn from some YouTube video, for example, that when you stop caring, she starts caring and she starts to get re-attracted. And when you walk away, then that creates the intrigue that reverses the power play in a way to somehow make you be the one where she wants to chase you now because you are putting yourself in a position of power or whatever it is. And when people do this though, they usually do this in order to get some outcome, some reaction from their partner. But the second part here, well, it doesn't seem like that's actually chasing. That's actually chasing because that's also bred out of a very strong neediness. It's you doing something to get something in return, and you're willing to lie, cheat, steal, to manipulate, and you're willing here to walk away or to pretend like you don't care, even though you do care very much. And you're willing to act out of that ingenuineness because you need that outcome. Now let's talk a bit about why chasing, either active or passive, doesn't really work. And I'm sure a lot of you have thought about the power dynamics behind this, how chasing makes you repulsive and that it puts you in a weaker position. But if you're in a long-term relationship and if you want to go deeper into why chasing doesn't really work, there's actually 4 other really great reasons of why chasing doesn't really work. And number 1 here is that it makes you seem very ingenuine. It makes anything you do, anything you say seem very ingenuine. For example, if someone were to give you a gift or do you a favor or say something nice to you, etc., and you can tell here from the micro expressions, the micro tones, the context, the subtle things that this person is trying to get something in return. It's going to be very hard for you to take that person's gift, that person's favor, that person's compliment, nice words, whatever it is. It's that love that the other person's giving, it's going to be very difficult for you to take it because it seems ingenuine naturally. And it also seems very impermanent. So let's say here, imagine yourself in a position where you want to leave a relationship because you think your partner is very toxic. And your partner says, they want to change, they want to change, they want to change. And they will change, they will change. But you can sense here that the act of changing comes with strings attached. They will only change if you come back. And you can also tell that when they're changing, they're not really enjoying the process of changing, right? They hate changing. Now, if that's the case, then you will know that the changes that they say they're having, it can never be permanent. Once they get the outcome they want, they will stop because they generally don't actually enjoy the processes. They don't enjoy the process of changing, becoming better, etc. It shows also a lot of ignorance. So a lot of people who are just focused on the tactics and what to say, what to do, they often say and do very generic things that sounds good in general, in theory, but it doesn't really pertain to the problems or the issues in the relationship itself. It can make you seem like you're ignorant of what the real problems are in the relationship. And of course, people who are needy usually signal very subconsciously here that they don't have anything to give. And so they are needy and they want to take because they have nothing to give. They have nothing to offer. Or they're not confident in their ability to simply attract another person. Now, passive chasing also doesn't work here because it makes you also seem very ingenuine and that your changes are very impermanent as well. And a great example of this again is the person who, they say they're changing, they're better, and then they walk away. But then they go back on their word whenever they realize that them walking away doesn't really yield the results that they want. And it shows here that there's really no good reason behind the things you're promising, the things you're saying, the things you're doing, and that the things you're doing is just this short-term tactics to try to get her back. It's almost like the person again who promises for 3 months that they will change, they will change, they will change, and then their partner keeps resisting them, and they see their partner resisting them, and they go, you know what? Since you're resisting me, I don't want to change anymore. Well, that will tell your partner everything they need to know, that your changes were never genuine or permanent anyway. This also shows ignorance here. Like if you are in a long-term relationship and your partner wants to leave because of some very intensely negative baggage, negative cycles that are happening in the relationship, and she feels hopeless because of the problems in the relationship that not only you create, but also both of you create. And you choose this route to play mind games and just simply walk away and play the high value man card. It really shows your partner that you really do not understand the root core behind the issues. You don't understand that you are also part of the issue as well. And if that's the case, then that's going to be a very repulsive nature for your partner in that, you know what, all these cycles that are happening, that will never change because my partner doesn't even know what the issues in the relationship are. He thinks that he can solve this by simply becoming high value. That's ridiculous. So again, if chasing does not work, what do we do? What do we do instead? To understand what we need to understand this concept of noble selfishness. And this is a term that we created in the program because this middle place really helped a lot of our clients as well to understand what it means to come from a place where you are attractive and not chasing. So on the one hand of this is pure selfishness. And this is when you want to get something that you want, but you're not really concerned about what the other person wants. You're just concerned about what you want. So this is really, if you are the person who goes to YouTube videos, who goes to resources, and you just are looking for the tactics, you're looking for the things to say, the things to do to try to re-attract your partner, you are operating from this place of pure selfishness. Because here, nowhere in this questioning, in your inquiry, is what is it my partner is struggling with? And how do I understand what my partner is struggling with? And how can I give what my partner wants? Instead, you're just saying, what trickeries, what magical words can I use to try to re-attract her back? The only thing in this equation is really you getting your partner back. How do I get my partner back? And nowhere in this equation is how do I get my partner what she wants and what she needs as well? And it makes everything you do very ingenuine and very impermanent, like we talked about earlier. Now, the other extreme to this is also pure selflessness. And usually when people discover that the selfish approach doesn't really work, and they go all the way down to the other extreme of pure selflessness. And this is the place where you're sacrificing your own happiness. You're sacrificing yourself to get what you want and to get what you need. So this is really the person who will sacrifice their sense of happiness. They will give anything. They will sacrifice anything to get their partner back. And they will tell this to their partner sometimes. Hey, I'll do anything to get you back. I'll do anything. I'll change in any way you want. And they'll often sometimes also play the pity card as well, where they're in their sorrow, they're in their depressive state, and they want their partner to feel their sorrow, to feel their depression. And this is a classic form when people play out overt neediness, in that they are desperate for attention. They're desperate for contact because they need that feedback. They need that reassurance from their partner right then and there. Neither of these approaches are good. Either pure selfishness or pure selfishness doesn't really work in re-attracting, because they're both bred out of very intense neediness. Now, the middle ground behind this is what we call noble selfishness. And it's a place where you are doing the things you're doing to please yourself because you intrinsically like the things you're doing, but the things you like doing also happen to benefit other people as well. And so it's really selfish in that you're doing things to make yourself happy, but what makes yourself happy also makes others happy. And this is really selfishness in the noblest sense of that word, which is why we call it noble selfishness. Here, the first part of noble selfishness here is that you are learning the actions and the right frameworks and the right mindsets, etc., to help other people. So for example, when I was trying to save my own relationship and when my clients are trying to save their own relationship, they're learning the right principles, the right tactics as well, to be able to allow them to make their partner happier. But at the same time, as they're learning the processes to make their partner happier, these actions are also bred out of a very strong intrinsic motivation as well, in that they actually begin to enjoy the process of not only learning the process that will help them make their partner happier, but in the act of playing out the frameworks, in the act of becoming bulletproof. And for example, standing in the face of resistance, standing in the face of tough truth and playing out the right frameworks, they actually enjoy the process of doing that. So the reason why they are initiating contact, for example, the reason why they're initiating conversations, the reason why they're using the frameworks to go through difficult resistance or tough truths, etc., is not because they want to get something back, but they genuinely enjoy the process of dealing with resistance. They actually enjoy the process of changing, the process of learning, the process of changing their mindsets, etc. So they're not changing their mindsets because they want to get an outcome. Primary motivation is very intrinsic in that they actually enjoy the process of doing that. So for example, when I was trying to change my own relationship and save my own relationship, I had to change in so many different layers, so many different ways, but it was not until I was able to shift my mindset away from I do this because I want this relationship back, but into I do this because I want me back. I actually enjoy the process of growing me. That was when everything I did became more genuine. And in the same way, for example, if I show up to every coaching call, to every sales call, and I make every video just to get sales, just to get you to buy my program, for example, then nothing I say or do will become genuine. But because I have reached this internal point where I just say, hey, I make videos for people because I actually not only enjoy helping people, but I actually enjoy the process of making videos, scripting videos. I enjoy the process in every part of it. I make videos because I actually enjoy it, not because I want something out of it. Once I get into that mode, the videos may look the same, but the aura that I have, the approach that I have, the micro expressions, the microtones will all be very different. It'll seem a lot more genuine. It will seem a lot more effective as well. And you can see the genuineness and the permanence of that as well. This is really the most genuine and the most real, the most effective, the most powerful form of giving and the form of loving as well. You know, for example, if someone was to give you a gift, so let's say the first person that you get here is someone who says, hey, I was really out of my way to get you this gift, but because you're my friend, I'm gonna give it to you. Right? That gift will be very difficult for you to receive. But if the person says, hey, here's your gift, and I wanted to let you know that I actually enjoyed looking for this gift and giving you this gift. I love this. That gift will seem a lot more genuine, and you can receive that gift a lot better. And you can receive the second gift a lot better, again, because that second gift comes out of a place of noble selfishness, not just selflessness like the first guy or selfishness like the first guy as well. So again, this is really selfishness, but in the noblest sense of that word. And this is really the key to attraction. If you can act out of this place and be and operate out of this place, whatever you do will become a lot more genuine very, very quickly. How do we actually get to this place of noble selfishness though? There's really three things that you need to focus on. And this three things is something that we dive deep into in our program. So there's a lot more to this that we can discuss that goes beyond the YouTube video. If we were to discuss this, the YouTube video will be like 3 hours long and we can't really do that. But the first thing you need to learn how to do is to become outcome untethered and tether your brain to the process. So right now, a lot of people, the way they operate is that their thoughts are very much obsessed with the outcome. If I were to ask you, for example, how was your day? Most likely the response you gave will be outcome related. Oh, my day was good because this outcome happened. Or my day was bad because this bad outcome happened. And if I were to ask you, for example, what do you want for your future? It's going to be some outcome related thing as well. I want this outcome. I want that outcome. So a lot of our brains are really tethered to what we call the outcome, the external circumstance, the situations. And our motivation, our mood depends on our tethering to the outcome. If the outcome is good, if your partner is doing well, then we are doing well. If our outcome is doing badly, we do badly as well. Very tethered. Now, what we need to do first is to understand how to untether ourselves from the outcome and retether our brain to the process. And a big part of this is to understand how to love the process and doing the process intrinsically in itself. Right? The only way I can be untethered from the outcome of my business, for example, is if I learn how to enjoy the process of the day-to-day of my business, how to enjoy the process of making videos, enjoy the process of talking to clients, enjoy the process of helping people, enjoy the process of making YouTube videos, enjoy the process of building a wonderful course and an amazing course as well. And so untethering here is not just about removing the rope and cutting the rope off from the outcome, but you have to shift your attention to something else. In this case, the something else is the love of the process itself, the intrinsic love of the process itself. And the second thing that we need is prioritizing the right identity shifts. So, what a lot of people do in their life is, they look at what they want to have first. What they want to have defines the motivation and the what they do. And hopefully, their hope is that if they do enough, have enough motivation to do, then they become. They be. But what a lot of my clients have come to understand here is that the better way to do things is to actually define who you want to be first, your being first. And when you focus on effortlessly being, you can effortlessly do. And when you can effortlessly do, you can effortlessly have. And to do that, you have to have a very solid grasp of this new identity that you want to create. And you have to also understand how to subconsciously cut the chains and cut the ties off from that old identity that keeps you chained to your old self, to your old behaviors, and how you can embrace the new identity a lot better as well. And when you get to this stage, you will stop doing to have. You will stop doing to get an outcome, but you will start doing simply because you are. And coming from this place of noble selfishness will become a lot easier for you when you're in this state. Because here, the reward you get, the intrinsic reward you get for doing the things you're doing is because you get to be congruent with who you are. You're just expressing who you are. And the third thing you need to do also is that not only do you need to have this intrinsic motivation, but you also have to make sure that the changes you have are the right changes that actually create value in other people and growing conviction in those changes despite facing very intense resistance and so on. So this is not only about identifying the right changes, but also growing conviction in the right changes. Because if you look at a lot of the roots behind needy behavior, it's usually because of some insecurity. And insecurity is simply a lack of conviction in your own value. So not only do you need to find the right changes you need to have, but you need to build that conviction in the right changes that you have as well. And when we talk about the right changes here, we have to stress one very important point. It's that we have to make sure that these are the right changes. So we enroll 1,000 people every single year into a program. And whenever people come in, they come in thinking that they already know what the right changes should be, what the right changes are. So for example, here's my client saying, hey, when I came into the program, I came in thinking I've been working my pies, etc. I just need the communication. Just teach me what to say, what to do, and I'm good. As you know, smart contact didn't really work. In fact, running away from the relationship questions actually made it worse. But I didn't have the conviction. I didn't know what questions to ask. My questions were mostly manipulative or loaded, and it wasn't until I realized the value of shift in mindset that I realized how intertwined everything was. But it starts with a mindset. Without the mindset, you won't dedicate your time to the program. Without the mindset, you can't see your own failings. Without the mindset, you don't have the strength or poise to carry out the frameworks. Without the mindset, you don't come across from a place of genuine caring. Without the mindset, you can't repeat your process over and over again, bettering it each time. Working on my mindset has been my game changer. So you have to understand here that if you feel like you have made the right changes, but you're still struggling to allow your partner to feel your changes, to showcase your changes to your partner, and for your partner to believe your changes and start to slowly re-attract your partner, then there is a very good bet that the changes you think you have may not actually be the right changes yet. That your changes, for example, might get you to level 1 to level 5, But what you don't know is that there's a level 50, there's a level 60, there's a level 70 that you can get to. So when we talk about previously about the three things of, hey, you need to learn the process, the changes intrinsically. You need to breed the changes out of your new identity, and you need to have the right conviction in the changes. None of those things will work if you don't have the right changes, the right process in the first place. And that's a very humbling understanding to have, but it's a crucial understanding to have. But once you find this place of noble selfishness, and once you're able to act out of this place of noble selfishness, where you are not only understanding the right process and have the right conviction behind the process, and you do it because you love it, and the things you love actually objectively creates value in the relationship, then everything you do and say will not only become more effective, but it will seem a lot more genuine, a lot more permanent, a lot more attractive in general as well. And it's going to be very difficult for your partner to not want to notice, or at least want to be curious about your changes. And curiosity is wonderful, because all you need is just the curiosity for your partner to finally see your changes, witness it, feel it, etc. But you need to start with that curiosity first. And if you look at any of my client stories who have been successful in saving themselves from this very dire state that they're in, you will always hear them mentioning this concept of loving the process intrinsically and coming from the place of noble selfishness. They might use different words to express this, but at the end of the day, they're looking at the same things and they're doing the same things. That you have to understand how to come from this place of noble selfishness and understand the right changes, the right process, if you want to do some damage in the best way possible in your relationship. So if you want to see more of these stories to inspire yourself, feel free to look at my client stories up above my head here. And if you want to understand the process a lot deeper and what the process is to allow you to get massive results despite being in very bad or dire situations, then I want you to join me in my free masterclass on the 5 proven steps to rebuilding your relationship from the ground up. In that masterclass, I'll show you the exact process all my clients have used to gain massive success despite, again, being in very dire states. And if you want to submit your application for the Relationships Revival Program, you can also do so at the end of the masterclass as well. And so if you're interested in joining the masterclass or submitting your application for the program, you can click the link above my head right now or down below this video as well, in the description below this video as well. And if you're looking for a guide that can help you understand some of the frameworks that we talk about to allow you to have a deeper conversation with your partner, you can also download the guide I have for you above my head or also down below this video. And if you want to join a community where you can post your questions and have a member of my team answer those questions for you and help you out, then you can also join us in our free Facebook group down below this video. And in the meantime, if you found this video helpful and eye-opening, give it a like. It really helps the channel out. And feel free to subscribe to this channel as well for more content like this one. And if you have a question, feel free to put a comment below as well. I would love to hear from you. And in the meantime, I want to leave you with these 2 other videos here with more skills and knowledge that allows you to design a thriving relationship, even though, again, that you are the only one trying to save the relationship right now. In the meantime, I will see you in the next video.